Welcome to this week's edition of Outdoors Online, a weekly webcast produced by the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. I'm your host, Mike Anderson. Joining me today is Fisheries Division Chief Greg Power. We're going to talk about the ice fishing season so far this year and what we have left here in the next month or so. Greg, last winter we had a lot of snow, access was tough. This year, kind of the opposite, less snow. How is access this year?
Tale of two winters, and in North Dakota if you ice fish, or if you fish in general, you know that the weather is never consistent very long. So last winter we had a ton of snow, especially in the southern half of the state in the first half of winter. So about this time last year, people were just getting out and about, breaking trails and starting to fish. This year we really have had no snow issue whatsoever. We did have a problem though with good ice early. And that was kind of a big deal because people did not get out, especially the drive-on ice, the really good ice that you can drive on the lake, until after the holidays. And that's unfortunate because it's kind of critical to get people out fishing over the holidays. Family and friend are back, you have some time. And this year that didn't happen for the most part, but no problem now. I mean, we got good access, there's no snow issues, and the ice is thick. If this keeps up this weather much longer, we're going to be talking extensions here in a few weeks.
How has fishing been this year so far?
Oh, hit and miss. I mean, generally the earlier, we really never had that early ice fishing again because how late, it took for the good ice to form. But those that got on, let's say early January, we had a fair number of decent reports across most of the state. Mm-hmm. Here, by the time you get it, and typically anyways, but early, mid-February, fishing does normally slow down ice fishing, and that's certainly the case this year. It's not a lot of reports. One thing about it, though, I think a lot of people are staying home with the cold weather. We've had, weeks of pretty cold weather, so it's not very fun to go out there unless you have a good ice house and fish right now.
Sure. How about walleye fishing? I know we talked back in December with the ice fishing preview that some of these perch lakes are going to turn into walleye lakes.
Right. Yeah, and we're still getting questions from the perch angler. Where's a hot bite? And there really hasn't been any great perch fishing across the state. Probably Devil's Lake and Stump Lake they are the best consistent perch fisheries. A lot of those lakes that had perch in there, we did stock the walleye, and now a lot of them are, starting this winter, some new ones have come on board, and they've had some decent bites early, but again, here of recent it's slowed up a lot. We haven't had a lot of reports on the walleye. Pike, the nice thing about pike is they tend to be the most consistent fishery out there. And for those that have tried pike fishing, some of our traditional pike lakes, they're still doing well in the pike. Your
biologists are just starting their dissolved oxygen testing. How are things going to look, you think, this year?
Yeah, they start typically somewhere between late January and late February. They hit not all the lakes in the state, but most of the lakes, and do it every winter. And by that time, you get a pretty good snapshot of the oxygen and water column, and the lack of snow that we had this year, we thought maybe we'd be in pretty decent shape, and so far so good. We know of one or two lakes that have had a winter kill, and I'm sure we'll have a few more, but as low as the lakes are, if we had that snow that we had last year, if that would have came this year, we could have been in a lot of trouble with a lot of the lakes. But knock on wood, we'll know for sure in another month or so, into March. But so far, so good.
If we don't get a lot of runoff and moisture this spring, what's that do for the lakes this summer?
Right. Well, again, the best news was we didn't have the snow early, so the lakes are pretty snow-free. Thus, the amount of winter kill we're going to have is probably reduced greatly. That's the good news. If we don't get some big snow in March, snow events, a couple blizzards, a good rain event when the snow's coming off, we don't get that local runoff, then we're going to go in the summer with our lakes down 4 to 6 feet on average across the state. And we're, obviously we're setting ourselves up to losing some lakes. And we had one, maybe two lakes last year that had summer kill. This summer we could have quite a few more. We do need the runoff for sure.
As the season winds down, we have some reminders for ice fishermen.
Yep. And if you notice, the days are getting longer now, and so it's kind of maybe that first tease that spring is near. We certainly have, we're going to have good ice fishing opportunities until the end of March. But March 15th is kind of the golden date to, just as a reminder that all people that have unoccupied fish houses need to take them off daily. They cannot leave it unoccupied on the ice overnight. You can keep using them, you know, until the ice deteriorates, but make sure you take them off every day. And then you can't leave them on the shore if it's game and fish lands or Fish and Wildlife Service lands. You got to remove them, take them home preferably. And then also dark-house spearfishing season ends on the 15th of March. So again, you got another month of dark-house spearfishing.
The other thing you want to do is pick up your garbage.
Yep, that's a good point. I mean, 24/7, 365, whether you're shore fishing, boat fishing, and certainly ice fishing, pick up your garbage. It's some of these lakes that get a lot of ice fishing pressure, and then it comes March and the snow goes away, and you look on the ice, and it is kind of troublesome. That includes your bait. Don't throw your minnows on the ice. Don't. I mean, your wood, everything should, you know, pack it in, pack it out. So that's certainly relevant to ice fishing.
Ice conditions you want to be aware of in the spring here too.
Yeah, yeah. Ice conditions. You know, when ice forms, the best ice, as ice is forming, is near the shore where it's shallower. And as you get in the deeper water, the ice is thinner. The ice pack is. That's back in November, December. As you get towards spring, it's the opposite. The first ice, the lousiest ice you'll find is along the shore, where it's going to warm up the fastest. So access onto the waters, you're going to have to be more and more careful as you get into March for sure. And as always, stay away those pressure ridges. They can be, they're the only place of bad ice right now other than bridges anywhere in the state are around these pressure ridges. But come spring, they can be even worse.
A lot of good information, Greg. Thank you.
You bet.
As Greg just mentioned, all permanent ice houses must be removed from lakes March 15th. You can still use these ice houses, they just have to be removed daily. Also, the dark house spearfishing season closes March 15th, and as temperatures warm up, make sure you're aware of ice conditions and watch out for pressure ridges. For Fisheries Division Chief Greg Power and the rest of the staff here at the Game and Fish Department, thanks for joining us this week for Outdoors Online. We'll see you again next week.